Alright, ID mark right here, 3UX3D. That's a Nissan Rogue 2.5 liter RE0F10A. Be careful on your speed sensors when you take them off. Some of them have little shims. Need to keep track of how many were on there. There could be 0, there could be 1, 2, or 3. This one had 2. Another speed sensor over here. And 10 millimeters on the bolts. Neutral switch. External filter. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. There's a rubber seal that usually stays up in there. $14 millimeters on the outside. 12 millimeters that hold the pulley onto the rear cover. There's a 12 over here that holds the pump in the case. This one and the ones in here have O-rings. The one that holds the pump is longer. Now a couple of these bolts are longer. They're usually right down here in the bottom. They'll have an extra shoulder on them. Millimeters on the bell housing. Pull our lockup O-ring off. 10 millimeters on the pan. Pins on here. I keep my filter bolts separate. $14mm on the nut here. There's a lock washer, and then here's our lever to control our manual valve. Now you don't have to take these out, but this is the way I do it. It makes it easier for me. I just leave the wiring harness up in there. I unplug it from under here. There's a little tab you push in, and it comes out. Let me go ahead and get these off of here. Just leave the harness in there. Yeah, let me remember which one I need. Think. Which one is it? I don't remember. Should have been right there. There we are. Which ones are not part of it? This one is. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Alright, why are you hanging on? There we go. There's a little sleeve that goes in here for the manual valve, or for the manual linkage. A lot of times it falls out. This one's staying in there. I'm just going to leave it in there for right now. Now you can unplug your harness from off your tranny. There's a rubber seal between the valve body and the case there. wanting to be difficult. Make sure our races are good for our diff and our transfer gear. The transfer gear out. Looks good. Yeah, all looks good. Usually all this stuff's good. $10mm nuts here. Tens on there. Need a pair of snap ring pliers. And get right down inside this gear here and spread that snap ring out. And pull that off. Washer. $12mm. Just a little bracket. Oil slinger for the chain. Stator looks okay. This bearing here, you want to make damn sure it goes in the right way. It will wipe it out. Let's see if we can put this up here where we can see. Got a snap ring, ring gear. Doesn't matter which way it goes. Another snap ring. And our snap ring for our clutches. These are the forwards, and we have no forward. According to the paperwork. You see nothing wrong there. May have to air check this thing. Bearing on each side. Bearing back here. Planet's fine. Opening is at the 1130. So a reverse. Opening is still at the top. I'm going to mark this plate so that I know that that goes right there. And pull our piston out. Okay. Well, our piston air checks. .6mm Allen to pull the pump out. This is your seal between the case and the pump. .10mm Allen. Pull our valve out of the pump. Every one of these valves I've ever seen has been worn out. And I can tell this one is too, just by the way it feels. And don't want to come out, and I can feel it actually wobbling around in there. Well, I'm not too worried about it. I know it's worn out. It's going to have to be reamed out. We'll see if we can get it sold. Pull this pin out, it'll fall away and disappear on you. between the two halves. This is our follower for the pulleys that are forget what they call this stupid thing. The stepper motor. Our follower for the pulleys that are stepper motor follows goes on here. It tells the computer where the pulley's at. Pulley looks in pretty good shape without taking it apart. I'm going to air check it. If it air checks, we'll know that the pulley works, and I'll worry about rebuilding it when we get it sold. Here's a return, or not a return. This is the pressure back to this pulley to release it. So when you shoot air to this, it's going to squirt out there. Get you a big fat end on your air blower. Pulley is no good. Alright. So we know we've got a problem in the pulley. I don't know why the paperwork said no forwards. It probably didn't move at all. Shim between the secondary pulley and the case. I'm going to zip tie my belt together. Probably put a couple on there just for good measure. You want to note the direction of your belt before you pull it off. There should be an arrow on it. I do not see the arrow. There it is. Alright, the arrow's on the bottom, pointing that way. So we're pointing back towards the primary pulley. on the bottom. This is model TJ-1. Got it from WIT. Good enough to get that out of there. Yeah, this pulley screwed. Alright, I do not have the socket for that. It should be floating up and down, so we're going to need a primary pulley. Oh, this is chewed up on the end here. So we need both pulleys. We're going to need a belt. More than likely going to need a valve body. So let me go see what they want to do before I go too much further with this. We may be putting it back together for a core. We'll be back if we sell it.